Here's how we built a 100 crore condom brand with Ranveer Singh, which is the fastest growing sexual health and wellness company in India. This is where it all started, not in this parking lot, but up in my parents' house. So let's go check it out. Three of us, Rajat, Mohit and I, we are like really old school friends. I know Mohit since senior KG and I know Rajat since 6th standard. We have always been doing like a lot of interesting stuff together in school. In 2014, first year of engineering, I was in this college called Sastra in Tamil Nadu and Rajat was studying in Manipal, and both of us wanted to work on something together. We started India's first hyperlocal e-pharmacy called Remedy. What we did basically was just we had like a really shitty looking app. People could upload their prescriptions and we would deliver medicines from like the nearest pharmacy around. Obviously that didn't work because it was like a really broken model where we had to like own a lot of inventory, and then new telemedicine laws came in which meant that we had to own all the inventory that we were selling on our app. So we had to shut it down. When we were building Remedy also in the beginning, a lot of our almost 20% of the orders that we used to get on the app used to be sexual health related products like either Viagra or sildenafil, Tadalafil or condoms. So at that point we knew that there was a demand for this category, but because we disbanded the company and we went our own ways, we never really thought about it. Then in 2019 we again had this thought of working together on some idea. Rajat was speaking to the founder of like a really big horizontal doctor platform, like where you could book doctor appointments, and there he discovered that even 20% of their traffic was coming onto the website for searches for sexologists and sexual health issues. That kind of lit like a bulb in our mind, saying after 15 years of existing, if a platform still has 20% of people who are coming onto the website to search for sexual health as a category, maybe there's something here to explore. So this was in August of 2019 where we realized that there's like a lot of demand for sexual health as a category. I was in Chennai, Rajat was in Delhi, and Mohit was in Bombay. He was working as an AI/ML engineer at Jio. So he was working out of Bombay, Rajat was in Delhi, I was in Chennai. But the three of us really wanted to work together on something, and this was like a light bulb that went off in our minds. Rajat and I, we traveled back to Bombay, I think in September of 2019, and we just went around speaking to a lot of sexologists, andrologists and urologists in the city. What we found out was very surprising, right? In a metropolitan city like Bombay, at that point in 2019, there was one andrologist to every 25,000 men, which is like an absurd ratio. Recently, I found out that in a country of 1.5 billion people, there are only about 65 to 70 specialist andrologists in the country, which highlights how big of a problem sexual health is and how overlooked it is in all other fields of medical science. Once we did all of those research, when we spoke to a lot of doctors, we went to all of their clinics, saw the kind of people who used to come there. We spoke to a lot of people as well. A lot of people weren't willing to talk to us about their issues for obvious reasons, but the doctors gave us a lot of insights as to what are the problems that these men are going through, like what are the mental barriers that they have to seek out solutions. Because they can't talk to anyone about these problems, they reach out to quacks, they reach out to unlicensed practitioners of these unknown steroid-filled counterfeit products which apparently promise them quick results but in the long term end up harming them. So we saw that there was a clear space to build something very interesting in this space. We applied to Y Combinator in November of 2019. We had an interview as well, and we thought we did really well, but at that stage they didn't like us and they rejected us, which was slightly sad. Out of the three of us, Rajat was handling overall strategy and fundraising because he had a lot of connections on the VC side of things. I was handling all of marketing, social media, customer support. In the beginning for like 6 months, Rajat and I used to do all customer support calls and WhatsApp messages were answered by us. And Mohit was handling all of the supply chain, finance, tech, all of it. It was equally divided between the three of us. This is where I used to spend a lot of my time though. हमने यहाँ पे एक thick गद्दा बिछा दिया था, and I used to just lie down here on my back and just like do my stuff, and it was pretty cool. In December it was really chill and it was really cold. Now it's bloody hot, so we can't do anything about that. But this was really nice. I used to close this window fully. We actually did hit our 100-day target. We launched the first version of our website on March 13, 2020 with three allopathic products, sildenafil citrate, tadalafil and dapaxin hydrochloride. Sildenafil citrate is basically Viagra, tadalafil is Cialis, and dapaxin is this medicine called Prilogy. Dapaxin helps with premature ejaculation, the other two help with erectile dysfunction. We launched these three products March 13. Everything was going fine. Obviously, we had no payment gateway on the website, right? Because everyone thought that we were not a legitimate business, so none of us would allow us to use their payment gateway on our website. So all of the orders that we had were all COD orders. On the 21st of March, which was I think one day before the trial lockdown happened, when Prime Minister Modi said that one day we will shut everything down and see what happens. We remember meeting the investors and the meeting went great and we came back home really ecstatic. The next day I think we found out that he was willing to put in money as well. I think we were just on a high, and immediately the very next weekend after that, a nationwide lockdown was announced. So that was very sad and we had to shut down the business between March, April and May. June is when we wanted to restart the business, but at that point we realized that we had to start building out our team. Then we were like, okay, cool, we need to move out of this house, we need to go get an office, which was really difficult because no one was renting offices because of the COVID pandemic. This is the first office of Bold Care, if you can see on those. I don't know if it's the white one or the one below that. This is where we started we started Bold Care off with. When we started, it was just 3 of us and 2 other employees, so it was 5 of us sitting in like a really cramped room. Let's go in and check it out if possible. But that's the office. This is where Bold Care was born. Actually, not born. This is where Bold Care grew up, matured into like a teenager. Sounds weird. When we launched products for both erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. So there was like a lot of latent demand for people who wanted to have, say, a longer performance in the bedroom, right? So the lidocaine-based extend delay spray was something that we really wanted to launch, and we couldn't work with them because of the really high MOQ issue. The reason that they need to do 50,000 MOQs is because the can vendor has like a minimum order quantity of 50,000. Thankfully, we found a mediator, like another company in Coimbatore, which was working very closely with the manufacturer. They were able to club our order with their orders and help us get the order at like an MOQ of 10,000. And we launched this product in November of 2020, and we did not expect it to blow up like it did blow up, right? I still remember the day. It was on birthday, 18th of November, where we did the highest ever sales, and I was really happy because I was like, okay, it's my birthday, which is why we did so much sales. And then the next 7 days, every day we kept doing higher and higher sales. After launching all the nutraceuticals and allopathy product and the extend delay spray, we went ahead and launched really 2 functional condoms. One was the ultra thin delay condom, which was India's first ultra thin delay condom, and the other one was like a multi-textured condom which had ribs, dots, and it was slightly contoured. One of the things that happened was we launched these condoms on the Cred app. We did a drop, and then we were sold out of multi-textured condoms, and we did not have about like 20-25 units to fulfill. So all of us went to our personal Amazon accounts because we had sent stock to Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, so that the orders could be fulfilled quicker. So all of us went to our personal Amazon account, and each one of us ordered like 7-8 condoms. सबके घर पे 7-8 condom आ गए, and everyone was really like, all parents are really surprised कि भाई इतने condoms क्यों आ गए. It was really funny. We got all these condoms from everyone's houses back to the office. We packaged them and we shipped it out, and then we avoided like getting disbarred from the Cred app for not fulfilling orders. Cool. So this was like the older office that we just saw. I'll take you guys to the newer office, which we moved in April 2021, and I think we've been there for like 4 years now. We're desperately in the need to move to a bigger office. Let's go. To scale our D2C, but D2C scaling was really tough at that point because there were a lot of restrictions with Meta and Google on how we could market sexual health and wellness as a category, right? So we were really trying to figure out the right messaging. We hired a head of Amazon, we hired a head of Flipkart, because these were the 2 channels which we really wanted to grow exponentially, because scaling D2C was turning out to be slightly tougher than we expected. We went live on all marketplaces. We were available everywhere. We were trying to figure out new marketing strategies on how we could move our products across all these platforms. So 2021, 2022 was just to launch more condoms. We decided to get into flavored condoms as well. We decided to launch a couple more functional condoms. Like we launched a condom which was 50 microns thin, then we launched a condom which was 45 microns thin, and we launched 5 different flavors of condoms. We also launched a range of water-based lubes which are supposed to be really gentle on your skin, non-staining, very compatible with all types of condoms as well. That category started picking up very quickly. The new Bold Care office. This is my cabin, which is extremely messy, as you can see. Actually, this doesn't look that great, but this is where I do my best work. So we moved to this office April 2021, and 2021 was a great year. In 2022, quick commerce really started growing as a channel for us because sexual health and wellness as a category becomes very easy for a customer to buy condoms and lubes on a quick commerce app because there's no need to go out, go to a pharmacy, meet a shopkeeper, talk to them about the products and order. You just place it on your phone and it gets delivered to you in 10 minutes. Around that time is when we wanted to bring more trust into the brand, which is why we started reaching out to a lot of people and started exploring the idea of bringing a Bollywood actor on board who could be like an investor or brand ambassador or who would just be the face of the business. One of the people that we really wanted to work with was Ranveer Singh because of the bold character that he portrays and the energy that he has, and because he's also had experience in the sexual health and wellness space. We really wanted to work with him because we thought that he could really elevate the brand positioning that much more. So we set up a meeting with his team, we spoke to them, and we ensured that we get at least like 15 minutes to have a chat with him. So Rajat went and met him, and it was just supposed to be a very quick, short 15-minute conversation, but they ended up having a 3-hour long conversation where Rajat went completely deep into our entire brand thesis, our entire brand ethos, and how we were looking at sexual health in the country and how we were looking to build Bold Care as the go-to brand for any sexual health issue in the country. And at the end of it, I think Ranveer really loved the concept that we were bringing on board, and then he really wanted to be part of the mission. So he decided to come on board as a co-founder and an investor. We got all the paperwork out of the way, and and we started ideating on what could be that one big campaign that we could launch with him, which would really make a lot of noise. And that's when the next stage of our journey started. We had Ranveer on board. We knew what we wanted to do. We wanted to create this campaign which would like really make a lot of waves in the Indian internet ecosystem. This is when something really unfortunate happened. We were trying to raise a round of funding to scale the business and to pay predominantly for this campaign that we wanted to do with Ranveer. But that's when FTX went down in the US and Silicon Valley Bank went down in the US, and our fundraise kind of came to like a full standstill. This is a time when we are actively talking to Ranveer, we're actively talking to agencies and getting a lot of pitches in. All the ideas that they pitched were great, right? But we had no money to pay for any of these ideas. And in between all of this chaos, in between all of this frustration and the fear of not having any money to grow and the fear of just going bust at any point, we had a stroke of genius. Before anything happened, Mohit had this idea of bringing Johnny Sins down to India, and we wanted to do a campaign with him where we dress him up as like a doctor, a firefighter, a dentist, a plumber, and do a series where we say 9 out of 10 plumbers approve of bold care, 9 out of 10 dentists approve of bold care. That didn't happen, but we always had this idea of working with Johnny because the concept that we wanted to bring was we bring in Johnny, who is like the epitome of male performance, and we bring him and we show him as the person who is facing a sexual health issue, and that was the core idea that we wanted to focus on. And that's when Ranveer insisted that we work with Tanmay and his team at Moonshot. We all did a lot of brainstorming and we came up with this really wild idea of crossing over an Ekta Kapoor soap opera with a sexual health product. I think what came out finally was just pure magic, right? I think the campaign went out and it did insanely huge numbers. On the first day, I think we did about 5 to 6 million views, and over the next few days, the views just did not stop at all. And we timed it perfectly right. We launched the campaign 2 days before Valentine's Day because Valentine's Day is our biggest week of the year for obvious reasons. And we timed it 2 days before Valentine's Day, and the campaign just kept going on and on and on. February 2024 was our biggest month in terms of revenue, and then we had like a flatter month in March 2024, and then we dropped the second ad in the campaign, and it really cemented the brand as like a fearless, confident, bold brand which wants to take on sexual health and wellness as like a really serious problem to solve for. That campaign that we did, the hashtag Take Bold Care of Her campaign that we did, really cemented Bold Care as a brand that a lot of people knew about, and it really brought a lot of good brand awareness for us. Since then, we scaled very, very quickly. I think from April 2024 until January of 2024, we scaled the business about 5 to 6x, which was unheard of. In this period is when we started growing very strongly on quick commerce as well. 2024 was the year where all these quick commerce platforms was really amping up their dark stores, onboarding more brands, onboarding more SKUs, and we capitalized on it as much as possible. In the last 20 years of running businesses, all the brands which have focused on one channel of growth have always succeeded, right? So I think Boat, when it came out, really focused on e-commerce as like a channel and really expanded on that. Mamaearth, when they came out, they really focused very hard on influencer marketing and just killed it out there, right? So what we wanted to do is we wanted to take quick commerce as a channel and really build ourselves very beautifully there, and which is what we've been able to do. And the reason why we've been able to do that is because we've built a very solid team in-house. Since we started from 5 people to 55 people now, we've built a very strong upper management team which handles each channel. So every channel has a specific channel head who takes care of the whole channel. Every channel gets like a team of at least 2 or 3 people to handle ads, to handle inventory, to handle just everything. We're very proud of the team that we've built, which has helped scale the business so fast, so quickly. And in January 2024 is where we hit the 100 crore ARR mark, which was a pretty big deal for us. We came from setting a 100-day plan to hitting 100 crores ARR, which is quite phenomenal, to be honest.